All right, free radicals of all shapes, sizes, colors, denominations, orientations, educations, party affiliations, aloha, aloha, and welcome back to the Radical Independent. I'm Dave, and I'm kind of at my wit's end, kind of running out of steam. Gabbard lays low after voting present on impeachment. Oh boy. Okay. Everyone tells me, she's got no chance. Fringe candidate. Doesn't represent the Democratic Party. Should be a Republican. She's a Russian asset. She's, her campaign is being sponsored by bots like me. I'm a bot. We're all bots. Wouldn't you like to be a bot too? Hit piece. Great job writing here by Nolan McCaskill. Nolan, buddy, I see you. I see your smears. Here they come. Tulsi Gabbard gifted, such bizarre writing, gifted her long-shot presidential campaign a burst of attention. She gifted, who writes a sentence like that and actually is a journalist, is a writer? She gave her own campaign a shot in the arm, would have been the way I would have approached that sentence, by voting present. No, it had nothing to do with her campaign, it had to do with her conscience. Not all publicity is good publicity. Okay, thanks there, Nolan. Thanks for your brilliant observation. Actually, quite honestly, if you really understand media, any publicity, Nolan, is good publicity. Donald Trump showed us that. Democrats across the political spectrum continue to rip. They rip her decision to vote present. Wow, because she didn't vote yes or no. Take a side. Hey, Jordan, can you retract the tweet, buddy? Can you think about... Just go, go play with Bernie. All you guys, go play with Bernie. Go check to see how the water is in Flint. Do what you do, but guess what? Leave us all alone. Leave us all alone. You know what? Because our candidate is 100... She goes down in flames, doesn't matter. She was 100 times better than Bernie Sanders or anyone else running. Why? Why? Because she's not being advised by a bunch of politically correct hacks who walk around and want to court all these people that believe in McCarthyism. All right? Your guy believes in McCarthyism. Our candidate, Tulsi Gabbard, does not believe in McCarthyism. And again, the Politico over here, they're going to quote some Kamala Harris lackey from South Carolina, who's not even a state legislator anymore, and Kamala Harris not even a candidate anymore because Tulsi kneecapped her, and obviously they're still feeling the pain. Oh, well, Kamala, she was the chosen. No, she wasn't. By the way, Saturday Night Live, best take on Kamala Harris as far as their impersonations of her. Didn't help her cause. She was an easy target. Gabbard became a trending topic in the U.S., first by name, then by the hashtag. And I'm not even going to say the hashtag out loud because I'm not going to dignify it. Because these people are cowards, all these people. And look, I got nothing to lose at this point because I'm going to tell you what. I do have a criticism of Tulsi Gabbard. It's not her policies. It's not this vote. It's not this vote. It's not her policies. What is it that I'm critical of Tulsi Gabbard of? She thought she could reform this party, and she knows damn well that she can't reform this party. And everyone else who thinks that the Democratic Party, including all of these AOC people who are all into being celebrities rather than being legislators, because that's what they're all about. They're the squad. We've got to have a name for our team, so everyone will call us the squad. More like the squalor. The squad. Give me a break. There's no squad. What's it? The mod squad? Don't think so. Gabbard is the only remaining Democratic House member running for president. The rest of the Democratic field voiced their support for the president's impeachment. So the rest of the field believes that a a truly harmless phone call to the Ukraine where there were some, words that you could use on a phone call, and it sounds like you're doing a little arm twisting here and there, but there's no quid pro quo. All the Ukrainian guys said, nope. We just thought it was a phone call from the President of the United States. He asked us a few questions. We weren't expecting anything in return. So Trump supposedly delayed, sending them weapons or something? And, we can't delay sending weapons to other countries. We can't do it, because that shows that we're weak. And there might be a little chink in the military-industrial complex. Oh, man. This is comedy. It's comedy gold if you know how to mine for it. Gabbard's vote Wednesday was more in line with House Republicans. Okay, but I know the two guys are going to talk about the 2 or 3 other Democrats that voted differently later on. But they're talking about Tulsi Gabbard more. And there's a reason they're talking about Tulsi Gabbard more. See, remember, she's supposedly the candidate that has no chance at winning, and she's a fringe candidate, and she's out of step with her own party, blah, blah, blah. And here we go again. I'm just going to read these words. Russian asset, third-party campaign, the favorite of the Russians, mentioned in Russian propaganda and media. Her views on foreign policy have been criticized for aligning too close with Russia and other foreign adversaries, such as Syria and Bashar Assad. I cannot believe we're still talking about Assad. This sentence here. Her views on foreign policy have been criticized for aligning too closely with Russia. So, Tulsi Gabbard is a peacenik. Remember the peaceniks of the 60s? Remember how a lot of people thought they were just a bunch of dirty hippies and so forth, rolling around in the mud at Woodstock? Guess what? They were right. They're right, and they're still right. Give peace a chance. John Lennon. Is that pie in the sky stuff? Is it just glib? Is it, I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe we're all living in a matrix. I'm starting to think I'm in a matrix where I'm watching this and I'm thinking to myself, how do I get out? How do I get out of the matrix? Gabbard didn't decide she would vote president until she got to the House floor. Why? Was she supposed to prep everybody how she was going to vote? In a lengthy statement released by her campaign 15 minutes after the vote, so they knew how she was going to vote because the statement came 15 minutes later. She explained it. Trump is guilty of stuff, but it's not impeachable. That's what this boils down to. The process was partisan, which it was. And Nadler, during Clinton, if you go back and watch that video, Jimmy Dore was all over that smartly, said it was too partisan. And he believes that, or used to believe anyway, that you couldn't have an impeachment that was too partisan. And Tulsi Gabbard believes in the same thing that this loser Nadler used to believe in. And it was fueled completely by tribal animosities. All right, so here's and they're going into this about how she put the video out at 1:25 a.m. because what? She was trying to do what? Not let her supporters see it? Because her supporters were going to freak out? And the whole premise of this is she's laying low. Here's the headline in case we missed it. Gabbard lays low after voting. Ooh, she's afraid. Tulsi Gabbard, the combat veteran, she's afraid. Ooh, even though she'd go into her camp and the sign above would say, is today the day? Meaning, is today the day you're going to get killed? That's what that sign means. Is today your last day on planet Earth? Seriously, Politico? She's laying low? Ooh, because she's afraid. She's afraid. Ooh. No, I don't think that's it, Politico. So again, I have a criticism of Tulsi Gabbard. I do. I have a Tulsi Gabbard criticism. And I'm going to go on record, Tulsi, and I love you. You are the best candidate running for president. You've been the best candidate. Since you declared, you've probably been the best candidate in my lifetime who's run for the presidency. Okay, I was not born when JFK was assassinated and when he won the presidency. Here is my criticism of Tulsi Gabbard. The system that you've chosen to reform is not reformable, if that's a word. Jill Stein, who I know is another Russian asset, at least that's what I'm told daily, she said you can't have a revolution in a counter-revolutionary party. How has that changed since 2016? Someone needs to tell me how that has changed. Now, I get it. You run as a third-party candidate. And by the way, one of the reasons Hillary Clinton did what she did was it was prevent defense. That's what it was. Everyone thinks, oh, she's just smearing she's not smearing Tulsi Gabbard. She knows that Tulsi Gabbard would be an enormous draw for people that have reservations about the entire political system. Hillary Clinton can't be this stupid. So she puts it out there. So Tulsi has to take that bait and say, you know what, I'm not running a third-party candidacy. I'm not going to do it. And then people keep asking, are you running? Are you running? This article infers, again, that she's going to run as a third party. There's no way at this point she's going to run as a third-party candidate. The reason she's not running is because everybody now is going to say she's a Russian asset if she runs. Just like if Trump gets along with Putin, like he said see how this links up when Trump said in 2016, hey, I'd like to get along with the Russians. Oh, so you're a Russian asset, so you're friendly with the Russians and you're colluding with the Russians and Russian. It's incredible how we went from no Cold War and no real negotiations that weren't going that badly with the Russians to everything coming to a grinding halt because the news media and the Democratic Party decide they're going to start a Cold War in order to keep this narrative going. And anybody who steps out of line, like Tulsi, and even Bernie's a capitulator. By the way, I don't need to hear from Bernie supporters anymore. I don't need to hear about how wonderful their guy is on domestic policy. If he's not going to stand up on issues like the issues Tulsi Gabbard stands up on, he doesn't stand up on free speech. He doesn't stand up on Julian Assange. He called Maduro a dictator. Yeah, he's a dictator. So that means he's going to what? Overthrow the country? He's just going to line up with the neoliberals once he gets in office, if he ever gets there. And by the way, this is all a moot point because Joe Biden is going to be the nominee. I'm predicting it now. Joe Biden will be your nominee. And here's my logic. All right? Steyer is in. Bloomberg is in. Amy Klobuchar is in. Mayor Pete is in. Elizabeth Warren is in. You think Elizabeth Warren is going to give her delegates over to Bernie Sanders? Now, that would be the right thing to do. But I don't think she's going to do it. And even if she does, you still have Biden and Mayor Pete and all of the other neoliberals. Bloomberg is buying his way into the convention. He's not necessarily buying his way into the debates, but he's going to be a power broker once it's time for the Democratic convention. And then, of course, you got superdelegates. The superdelegates aren't any different from what they used to be like before. And you people, again, are all out there expecting something different. And again, this, goes back to my criticism of Tulsi Gabbard. I love Tulsi Gabbard as a candidate. But the reality is that she's not welcome in this party. And this party is not about reform. This party is about maintaining the status quo. Removing Trump isn't about making the country better. Removing Trump is payback. It's a vendetta. That Trump outsmarted them. That Trump was, can you imagine, a better candidate than Hillary Clinton was for president, knew where to campaign to get the electoral votes. Jesse Ventura said that Trump modeled his campaign with the large rallies after his victory in Minnesota when he became the governor of the state. So Trump was smart enough to win, and they still can't get over that. They still can't believe it. And they know they can't remove Trump. If they hold on to the articles of impeachment, it's not going to change. Trump is not impeached. I mean, like, in other words, he is impeached, but he's not removed. And all of it is political theater. And it's, I don't know, if it's just about ratings, can't we have a night? What about a night? See, Tulsi Gabbard would bring a tranquil political season that we all desperately need. If she became the president, there would be, what is that phrase, domestic tranquility? There'd be domestic tranquility for a little while. But nobody wants that. The Democrats don't want it. The Republicans don't want it. Conservative talk radio doesn't want it. Progressive media doesn't want it. We want sound bites. We want turmoil. We want conflict. We don't want aloha. You can't vote present. So again, my big criticism, and it is big, and my friend Kelly and I, we've talked about this on a number of occasions, that you know you're about to run into a brick wall. But you keep running. And I said this in another video, like, you play the football game out, you're down by 2 or 3 touchdowns, there's not much time left on the clock, but you suit up, you run the plays, you go through the motions, and you shake hands at the end and you say, nice game. But this wasn't a nice game. If you're going to use the football analogy, the goalposts weren't just moved in certain places, they were actually removed from the field. Oh, the goalpost was over there and you moved it. Oh, wait a minute, where'd the goalpost go? The debates? I got 6% in this really reliable poll, Suffolk University, Boston Globe, and at that point, Tulsi Gabbard said, I don't want to play your game anymore. But see, that's the problem. She shouldn't have played this game in the first place, because she's not suitable for the Democratic Party. The best candidates that are suitable for the Democratic Party, I'll list the top 3. Biden, Bloomberg, Steyer, Mayor Pete, Amy Klobuchar. There they are. There's your top 5 faves of the Democratic Party establishment who runs the party. And all these neo-progressives like AOC, they don't have any, they're just like in limbo. The squad, like, they're important, they're not important. They're really not. Nancy Pelosi runs the show, and she's a neoliberal, and she's going to ensure that one of those neoliberals is going to be the nominee. They're all going to ensure that it's somebody with name ID, because they just want power, they want control, they want to wrestle this away from Donald Trump. He shouldn't have had it to begin with. That's their theory. This was a grave error of, voting machine snafus and Vladimir Putin pulling the strings. This is how they want to write history, as that's what happened. But what happened is somebody ran for president who is slightly outside the norm, or at least we thought he was. And so we all went and voted for him, or a lot of us did. So the process is broken. The Democratic Party is a waste of everyone's time. And Tulsi Gabbard's only sin is that she thought she could reform the Democratic Party. She can't. She can't. It's all of them. This Politico article, Gabbard lays low. This Politico article just confirms what I know, and it should be a game changer for you. And the only thing we can do, because Tulsi can't run as a third party, because that was the whole strategy, to out her as somebody who would run third party and ruin it for the Democrats. And of course she has to sign that paperwork that says she won't run. And that's kind of a big deal. It's not little. I think you can take that to court. That's how important a document that is. She ain't running for third party. She can't. Not this election cycle. But someone else can. Some other high-profile person can jump out and join the Green Party or join the Libertarian Party and there could actually be a groundswell, a movement of disaffected liberals and conservatives. I should call them progressives and not liberals, I'm sorry, but progressives and conservatives who believe in a number of things together, okay, concurrently. Like they share ideas about corruption, and we could go down the list of things that you and your progressive or conservative neighbor or friend could come to terms on. And that coalition would wipe out this neoliberal nonsense, because it would be based on ideas and not on, tribalism and animosity, as Tulsi Gabbard says. So anyway, that's my video. Forward looking. This channel is called The Radical Independent. It's not the Radical Democrat. It's not the Radical Republican. It's not even the Radical Libertarian or the Radical Green. Okay, but right now it is the Radical Independent, and I prefer truth. Okay, I prefer we start looking outside of this paradigm, and anybody who keeps just going in the same direction here and thinking that if we overwhelm it, it's going to change, I have bad news. There aren't enough of us paying attention. And there's so many people that have tuned out over the years that getting their attention is even harder than getting or keeping the attention of the people that are involved. Because you've got to do both. You've got to get new people involved, and you've got to get the attention of people who've been involved before and who have seen how the sausage is being made, and they're just like, nope, I'm done. I'm done. If this doesn't convince you, then I don't know what else will. And the fact that Tulsi Gabbard is such a good candidate, and this is how she's being treated. If she was a schmuck, okay, if she was a Kamala Harris type, or, Tim Ryan type of person, I would just be like, I get it. But she's not. She is not. She is truly looking out for us, to use a Bill O'Reilly term, sorry. But she is. She's a person who understands you and I, and she understands the working class, and I could go on and on. And again, for you Bernie people who are, you're always Bernie. Yeah, I like Tulsi too, and Bernie. Just go campaign for Bernie. You're going to have to be all hands on deck for him to even finish in the top 2 or 3. And then you're going to have to go through the despair and all of the hand-wringing and crying once you get to the Democratic convention. It's coming. It's coming. And you better buckle in. If you were disappointed last time and you're actually expecting it to be different this time, it might even be worse. It might actually be worse. All right, people, I'm done. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to help me out here via PayPal. My video from yesterday was demonetized for about 36 hours. So pretty much all the views that I had on it, they're all gone. I didn't earn any revenue from that. So PayPal, one-time donations. I'll put my email in. Also, you can check out my videos on Rockfin as well. And I'll be doing probably a lighter schedule coming up because of the holidays. So just keep that in mind. I'm Dave, and we'll talk soon, though.